Welcome into College Football Now. I am Tom Downey here with an overview of every single bowl game this year. We will begin with the College Football Playoff semifinal games. First up, the Cotton Bowl semifinal, which still sounds weird to say, but we'll allow it. Alabama, the number 1 seed against number 4 seeded Cincinnati. That is going to be the earlier of the New Year's Eve semifinal matchups, going to be in Arlington, Texas. The Orange Bowl will feature number 2 Michigan against number 3 Georgia down in Miami. The CFP this year didn't have as much drama in terms of the 4 teams. It's Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, and Cincinnati this year. So of the 4 college football playoff contenders, who do you think will win the national championship? Type in A for Alabama, G for Georgia, C for Cincinnati, or M for Michigan. Let's go to the New Year's Six now. Some very intriguing matchups. Quick aside here, by the way, the top 12 ended up working out for the New Year's Six and the CFP. The Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Number 8 Ole Miss against number 7 Baylor. An intriguing matchup of the high-powered Lane Kiffin offense against a strong Baylor defense led by Dave Aranda. The Rose Bowl, as it almost always is, the Big Ten versus the Pac-12. Ohio State against Utah. Utah, man, they bullied Oregon twice this year. We'll see what Ohio State puts up after a not great showing against Michigan in the regular season. The Fiesta Bowl, Notre Dame against Oklahoma State. The Cowboys had a chance to make the playoff, and then they could not beat Baylor because they couldn't score from a yard out. The Fighting Irish will be led by Marcus Freeman, the new head coach, in his first game. And then the Peach Bowl, Pitt against Michigan State, number 12 against number 10. This one will be played on December 30th down in Atlanta. So overall, I think a pretty good batch of New Year's Six bowl games. There's not a really weird team that's in there because they won their conference or whatever. Overall, I think it's a pretty good early slate of games here. Now we got a whole bunch of more bowl games to still get through. In fact, there are 42 of them since the NCAA and ESPN added in a bonus bowl game. We'll get to that one in a little bit. How many of the 42 bowl games are you guys going to watch? Be honest with me in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it, head down, and let me know just how much of a college football addict you guys are. Let's look now at all of the other bowl games, the non-New Year's Six and the non-college football playoff semifinal ones, going from the last game to get played to the first game to get played. We start with the Texas Bowl, Kansas State against LSU. That game is going to be played in Houston. It is very curious to see how LSU is going to be able to handle stepping up and emerging, as they're kind of caught in this awkward period right now where, hey, you know, they've got Chip Kelly or Brian Kelly coming in the long term, but he's not going to be there quite yet. They're kind of hanging out with no real coach at this point. I am curious to see how LSU handles it, how Kansas State handles it. The nice side for both these schools, hey, more practice time, and that never hurts. Let's go to the Citrus Bowl, also being played on January 1st. Kentucky against Iowa, number 22 versus number 15. Both these teams, very strong defenses, not the best offenses as we saw in the Big Ten championship game. The Outback Bowl, Arkansas, Penn State. Another, almost ranked matchup. Arkansas is 22. Penn State was ranked really high, and then they collapsed. Arkansas is 21, my bad. At least Penn State got James Franklin the bag. The Arizona Bowl will not feature any Arizona teams this year. Boise State, Central Michigan. I like Boise State to win that matchup. The MAC, by the way, quick aside, has a record-setting 8 teams playing in bowl games this year. And you can go in pretty much any direction you want here. What is your favorite bowl game? I go different. I love the Hawaii Bowl because there's nothing else to do, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, on Christmas Eve than sit around and watch 2 mediocre football teams play. I find it incredible every single year. The Sun Bowl, Washington State against Miami. We'll see what Miami does at their head coaching spot. That's depending on when you watch this. Maybe you know, maybe you won't. Washington State, they of course promoted their interim. The Gator Bowl, Texas A&M against Wake Forest, a top 25 matchup. Number 25 A&M against number 17 Wake Forest. I don't trust Wake Forest all that much. Their schedule's not been that tough, but maybe they can pull what I think will be an upset in the Gator Bowl. The Music City Bowl, Tennessee against Purdue, so a bit of a home bowl game to an extent here for the Volunteers as they get the Boilermakers, who played spoiler quite a bit this year in the Big Ten Conference play. A perfect bowl game right here, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Well, maybe not so much the name, but North Carolina, South Carolina, going at it in Charlotte. That is exactly what I like in my lesser bowl games. Easy regional appeal, and I think, too, decently matched opponents. The Las Vegas Bowl will feature Wisconsin and Arizona State. Quarterback Jaden Daniels going back to the Sun Devils for one more year. The Las Vegas Bowl, as you might expect, is being played in Las Vegas. Speaking of Vegas, by the way, if you want to make some money betting on college football, do it with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. You can bet on every single college football bowl game, or do what I do and parlay all the bowl games on a given day and increase your potential earnings. You will get a 125% deposit bonus when you head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125. You must put down at least $100 to get that deposit bonus. The Alamo Bowl is next up here in another ranked matchup. I like that for this bowl season. Number 16 Oklahoma against number 14 Oregon. The Ducks did not show up very well in the Pac-12 title game. Oklahoma, well, they've lost Lincoln Riley. In theory, Brett Venables has been heavily linked to taking over the Oklahoma job. And speaking of Clemson, they are playing in the Cheez-It Bowl against Iowa State. Two teams that very much underachieved this year. This was supposed to be the Cyclones' year to win a Big 12 championship. Didn't even come close. Clemson is ranked number 19, and for good reason. Earlier this year, they were actually unranked. The Pinstripe Bowl, which, as a reminder, is played at Yankee Stadium. Virginia Tech against Maryland on December 29th. Fairly intriguing matchup, and I'll make note, not the only bowl game this year being played inside an MLB stadium. The Fenway Bowl is being played at Fenway. SMU taking a rather long trip all the way up to Boston to take on Virginia in that matchup. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, bonus points if you know what this used to be called, since you know how often the bowl games change names. West Virginia against Minnesota. See how PJ Fleck does against I know how West Virginia fans feel about their quarterback. The Holiday Bowl is actually kind of intriguing for me. Number 18, NC State against UCLA, the Fighting Chip Kellys. I think actually a pretty decent matchup for the Holiday Bowl this year. I would not be surprised if UCLA steps up and wins that game. Probably one of the better New Year's Eve bowl games to watch this year. Now, if you guys want more college football playoff videos from, previews of the college football playoff games, various coaching hot seats and candidate lists because the carousel has been absolutely off the rails this year, then you have come to the right spot. Hit that big red button and subscribe for free college football videos right here on Chat Sports. The Liberty Bowl, a.k.a. the Mike Leach Bowl. Texas Tech against Mike Leach Bowl. Texas Tech against Mississippi State. That could be a fun one. I don't think Texas Tech is all that great. The Bulldogs should win this game, and I think Mike Leach very much wants to get some extra revenge against his old program in the end. The First Responders Bowl, Air Force against Louisville. I will give the First Responders Bowl credit to getting some type of military team in there. That's as close as you can do. We will come back to that conversation later on. Air Force, Louisville. I like the Cardinals to win that one. The Birmingham Bowl, number 20, Houston taking on Auburn. Which Tigers team shows up? The one that nearly upset Alabama, or the one that showed up for the majority of the season? There's also the Military Bowl, which features 0 military schools. I always hate that. I know Navy was bad, but still. Either way, it's East Carolina against Boston College, so from a local perspective, it's not as bad as what it could have been. The Quick Lane Bowl will feature Western Michigan against Nevada for you NFL draft nerds. Watch out for Carson Strong in that game, but I'll tell you what, Western Michigan's quarterback, Caleb Ellaby is also pretty darn good. Now, this has been a popular critique in recent years. Are there too many bowl games? I don't think so, because what's the downside? More college football that we can watch, but you know how people love to complain. Let me know what you guys think. Why for yes, there are too many, and for no, there are not. The Camellia Bowl down in Alabama will feature Ball State against Georgia State, a very classic Group of 5 bowl game. And I mentioned the Hawaii Bowl earlier this year. Hawaii is playing in it. They are taking on Memphis. Hawaii actually has a losing record, but they did get to 6 wins, so they were bowl eligible, which led to a change we'll get to in just a minute. But first, I actually love this matchup. Florida against Central Florida. The Gators have hired Billy Napier, made him a massively paid coach, and we'll see how the Fighting Gus Malzahns fare with Dylan Gabriel in the transfer portal. If you're Florida, you kind of got to win this one, or there's going to be a lot of negative comments around it. There was one extra team that would have been left that had Hawaii not been bowl eligible. Hawaii was made bowl eligible, so the NCAA added an extra bowl game, the Frisco Football Classic. Miami of Ohio against North Texas, my alma mater, the Red Hawks, playing in Dallas where we film at. And I, of course, will be back home visiting family, so I will not be able to go to the bowl game. Either way, you're damn right, I'll be watching it on this one. The extra bowl game, which they didn't announce the name of it until today, which was kind of crazy. I think the Frisco Football Classic, if I may be so blunt, I think it sucks as a name. That's not an intriguing bowl game type of name, especially when you've already got all these Texas bowls that sound so similar. So I want you guys in the comments section to create your own bowl game name. Be creative and sound off in the comments. The Armed Forces Bowl, and they did its job this time. Army against Missouri, a kind of intriguing matchup. We'll see what happens in that one. The Frisco Bowl, because yes, there are 2 bowls being played in Frisco in a 2-day span. It is UTSA against number 24 San Diego State. The Roadrunners, meep meep, are not ranked, but they're not that far away from being ranked. So I think it'll be an intriguing matchup on December 21st. The Potato Bowl, Kent State against Wyoming, because of course it's either Wyoming or Boise playing in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl in mid-December. The Myrtle Beach Bowl features Tulsa against Old Dominion. I'm just going to be honest. I don't feel the need to spend that much time on it. Sorry if you're a Tulsa or ODU fan. The New Orleans Bowl, Marshall against Louisiana, because Louisiana, I swear every year they're bowl eligible, they play in the New Orleans Bowl. Watch out for Marshall in this one. Then there's the, that's what it's called, folks, the Jimmy Kimmel Los Angeles Bowl, featuring no teams from California. Utah State against Oregon State. How about the Beavers, by the way, actually being a competent football team for the first time consistently in a long time? I want you guys to shout out your favorite college football team right now. Bonus points, that's what you get, if they made it to a bowl game this year. If not, I somehow doubt you're watching, but still, shout out your favorite team in the comments section. The Lending Tree Bowl, Liberty taking on Eastern Michigan. I will say, big miss for the Liberty Bowl to not find a way to get Liberty in the bowl, but it is what it is. Tie-ins and whatnot. The Independence Bowl now features number 13 BYU against UAB. I kind of feel bad for BYU. That's not the most appealing matchup they could have gotten. Is what it is. The New Mexico Bowl does not feature New Mexico or New Mexico State because those teams are bad. Instead, Fresno State and UTEP. The Boca Raton Bowl, Appalachian State against Western Kentucky, being played, of course, at FAU Stadium. I like the Mountaineers in that one, although Bailey Zappi's a blast to watch for WKU. In the Cure Bowl, we've got Coastal Carolina against Northern Illinois. Actually a pretty intriguing, I'll say, opening day bowl game. Northern Illinois won the Mid-American Conference. Coastal Carolina is a darn good football program. That's a good one to watch. And then Middle Tennessee and Toledo, they get the first bowl game of the year, the Bahamas Bowl. And down there in Bahamas, always a fun matchup for the players to go travel. Not so much to travel if you're trying to go to the bowl game. If you want to bet on the bowl game, folks, again, do it with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. It's chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is chat125.